Alright, shalom, shalom. I want to give all praises to the Most High Power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Makar, Kadash, Babuksha, 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 Da, Balathia, Shemai, Aida, Abanawa, Shabah, Shamayam, Awashnawa, Mayan Rai, La'ai, Walam Yam, the water, the Wab, Aman, which translates to our Father which art in heaven, deliver us from evil forever. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutation to all the Archeum. That's what they are pushing this truth in sincerity and charity with humiliation all across the four winds. And then the brothers out there that's also helping the ministry. The UI salute. This is the brother Yashua Wamba from the GMS Bahamas camp. Back at you with another brief spiritual hydration. And we're going to name this one, do not abhor the herbs. Alright? Now, we know all things created in the earth were created by the Most High Power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai. And we know the herbs, the green herbs, the bitter herbs, the sweet herbs, were all given to us for a purpose. Some for sustenance, some for medicine. Right? We just want to bring out a few scriptures to prove that. Oftentimes, especially inside the society where we live in now, where there's an abundance of meat, people tend to neglect the herbs. And we know the herbs are given to us really to clean us out also. An abundance of meat makes you sick, according to scripture, And we have to bear that in mind. Every now and again we gotta, go a while without the meats and just eat the herbs to get our body back on track. So it's more or less you quarantining your body away from meats and resetting it with the herbs. Every now and again you have to do that in order to stay healthy. But let's bring over the scriptures. This is Sirach chapter 38 in the Apocrypha, verse 4. It says, Yahweh had created medicines out of the earth, and he that is wise will not abhor them. You see that? Created medicines out of the earth. That's what these different plants and things for. You have a multitude of plants, they are created for medicines. And if you are wise, you will not abhor them. And one of the elder apostles, and many of the Archeum, brought out the definition of the word abhor. And abhor means to avoid. So be wise not to avoid these things. Be wise not to separate yourself from these things. You see, verse 5 says, was not the water made sweet with wood, that the virtue thereof might be known? And he had given men skill, that he might be honored in his marvelous works. You see that? With such that he heal men, and take it away their pains. So that's what the herbs are for. But the herbs also have to be coupled with prayer. You can't just expect to eat it by itself. You can't just expect to eat the herbs by itself and expect to be healed. No. And it ain't a quick fix like how Esau system is with their chemical medicines. Them chemical medicines work fast, but all of them come with side effects. The herbs, they don't work as fast, but they don't come with no side effects. They work over time. They slowly heal the body. Even when you get a cut, it takes a while before the cut heals. Everything is a process of time. Perfection takes time. When you think of a diamond, it's a process of time before it's get created. Even before you were born, you wasn't just ejaculated into the woman, you just pop up like that. No. It takes a process of time before you were created. Everything takes time. Everything of the Most High takes time. You can't rush these things. Let's bring on another scripture when I have here. We can bring on Wisdom of Solomon 16 and 12. In the Apocrypha again, it says, for it was neither herb nor mollifying plaster that restored them to health, but thy word, O Yahweh, which healeth all things. God. That's the brother Desire one of the brother. That's one of the brother Desire one favorite scriptures. Salakia. It is neither herb nor mollifying plaster, but the word of the Most High. That healeth all things. So again, You gotta have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Most High power along the herbs, and if you looking to be healed. You see that? You can't just expect, like I was saying earlier, just pop pills or just like that, or take herbs and expect to be healed instantly. It don't work like that. And you gotta stay away from those herbs too. Same thing like that seeing what's going on, that V. You gotta be cautious of that. Don't take that. That was created as engineered. Ain't not natural, but that everything but that basically synthetic. You don't want to fool with that. It's the word of the Most High that does the healing. You got one more scripture here. You can go in the book of Daniel, right? We can bring out the story of Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, when they were given the portion of the king's meat and they denied it. They denied it. They didn't want that. So let's read here, right? It starts at verse 12. It says, "Prove thy servants, I beseech thee, 10 days, and let them give us pulse to eat and water to drink." And pulse is another word for veggies. It wasn't no meat. It was veggies, vegetables, and water to drink. So he's saying for 10 days they can just eat water and eat vegetables. They don't want no meat. Verse 13 says, "Then let our countenance be looked upon before thee, and the countenance of the children that eat of the portion of the king's meat. And as thou seest, deal with thy servants." So now they're telling them, give us the pulse to eat for 10 days, and then feed your servants the portion of the king's meat, and see who would look better in the end of the 10 days. Look at their countenance. So when you think of that, when we liken that unto what's going on in the world now, when you have people who eating of Babylon doctrine, right? When you look at the people who eating of Babylon doctrine, Christianity doctrine, their countenance, they have an evil countenance towards them, as opposed to the Hakim out there that's in this truth. The word of the Most High is pure. That's like pulse. It's good for the body. But the king's meat, what is likened unto the evil doctrine, when you look at their countenance, it don't look right. They don't look right. But that's just an example of that. But when you liken it unto food, also a person that always eating meat, like people who eat a bunch of pork and different things, they innards, they countenance ain't as vibrant, because they lack vegetables within their system. So when we read that, it says, he consented to them in this matter and proved them 10 days. And he looked upon them in 10 days. Verse 15, "At the end of the 10 days, their countenances appeared fairer and fatter in flesh than all the children which did eat the portion of the king's meat." You see that? Thus Melzar took away the portion of their meat and the wine that they should drink, and gave them pulse. What that sound like to y'all? Y'all notice now, like particularly here in the Bahamas, after they took away the fast food and the liquor, people actually started to be a little more healthier. People actually started to look a little more healthier. That proving that, boy, is what you put into the body. You gotta be mindful of what you intake. Everything in portions. Not every day you gotta eat meat, because you can make yourself sick like that. Not every day you're supposed to eat and all. That's where fasting and prayer comes in. So you have to be mindful of these things, and don't avoid the herbs. Don't not avoid the herbs, because that's where the healing comes from, with prayer. It have to be coupled with prayer also. But that's just a brief spiritual hydration. Eat the herbs, drink plenty water, fast with prayer, because that's what you can need in these days and times. Wisdom will be the stability of thy times. Isaiah 33:6. Let me don't butcher the scripture. Let me bring it out. Isaiah 33:6. It says, "And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength and of salvation. The fear of Yahweh is his treasure. God. So with that, I want to give all praises to the Most High Power, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kadash, Shalom Akim, Kwame Asherallah.